The interstate system was founded in 1956 with an original map in place. On this map, there were cross-country interstates, urban spur routes, and everything that planners from the 1950s could come up with. But one thing of note within this planning process is that the map just kept expanding, with more and more routes being added. This has continued for as long as these roads have existed, with new highways being approved all the time. So today I thought it would be really interesting to go over the newest installments for the interstate system and talk about their histories, their current route, as well as their future extensions. Before this video starts though, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. We make geography content like this every week, so if you want to support me and my channel, subscribing is the best way to do it. It helps me out a ton and it's easy for you. Thank you. So to become a new interstate, you have to be officially signed. This is usually following a long and difficult planning process that involves feasibility studies, public meetings, and many more time-consuming activities. In a lot of these cases, this took years and even decades to happen, and that doesn't even include the construction process. For most of these, the switch to an interstate came by upgrading current roadways instead of paving new routes. You need the road to be up to interstate standards to get it approved. But a lot of recent proposals have come from people just wanting current freeways to be included within the system. Anyways, now that we have all that out of the way, let's start with our most recent interstate highway, which is I-42. So I-42 is a 31.5 mile disconnected interstate in North Carolina, located southeast of Raleigh, the state capital. So to put this simply, these two disconnected portions are part of a longer plan that would connect the city all the way to the coastline of Morehead City. The plan was signed as a future interstate by former President Barack Obama in 2015, and it was first off meant to ease traffic on the busy route, second off serve as a useful hurricane evacuation route whenever it was needed, and third of all help with the industrial and military connections along the route, including the Seymour Johnson Air Force Base, the North Carolina Global Trans Park, the Marine Corps Air Station Jerry Point, and the Port of Morehead City, which are all very important to the region. So the route began to be built, and on September 16, 2024, the interstate became official, and 82 new signs are currently being erected along the two segments. The future seems bright for this new route, with most of the proposed route just needing minor upgrades to bring it to full interstate standards. There are two portions that are still to be built, and I wouldn't put bets on that happening anytime soon, but the full interstate is a priority, so the story isn't over here. Next up, we have I-14, a 25.1 mile route in central Texas. The highway begins in Killeen, Texas, traveling just south of the downtown into Harker Heights and Nolanville, before ending in the east at I-35 in Belton. This is part of a significantly longer proposed superhighway that could run all the way from Odessa, Texas to Augusta, Georgia. Now, is this likely to happen? No. Other states don't have the same level of concern for the corridor as Texas, and the project would cost over $50 billion altogether. It just doesn't seem feasible for somewhere like Alabama to build a highway through the heart of their state, but Texas has made this a priority. In fact, the segment west of Killeen was designated as a high priority corridor in 2021, meaning it will most likely be built. Texas began to build the current route in 2011, and it didn't take long before the first segment was completed and could be signed as I-14. This took place on January 26, 2017, and construction has continued on the nation's second newest interstate highway. Moving on to our next highway, we have Interstate 11 in Nevada. This is another in-progress route, this time extending 52.9 miles from the Hoover Dam through Las Vegas and ending on the northwest end of the metro. Now, I-11 has been proposed to connect up to Phoenix, a route that is currently at much lower capacity than other routes of the same traffic volume. Now for this route, we need to move back to around 2015, when construction began on the Boulder City Bypass, the original length of I-11. This was completed in 2017, and on August 16, 2017, the interstate was officially passed. This is where it stretched for the next 5 years, but as Nevada moved forward with their plans, a change was made in 2022, when the designation was officially expanded through Las Vegas, moving directly through the downtown and to the northwest. They replaced signs for the former I-515 with new I-11 signs in 2024, which means they're moving forward with their expansion of the highway. Now all they have to do is wait for Arizona to do their part, since that stretch between I-40 and Phoenix is by far the most important. Moving on, we have I-87 in North Carolina, a very similar route to I-42, the newest designation. So I-87 is a 12.9-mile route going northeast out of Raleigh. Currently, it's only signed for a short bit outside the city, and it ends just past Knightdale Boulevard. But there are exact future plans for the highway that would give very important access to the coast and large ports and military bases, this time in the Hampton Roads metropolitan area. This is a very important route for industrial purposes, and it would also help traffic between the two growing regions. The current portion was signed in 2017, and North Carolina is currently working to extend it on their side of the border. But the future in Virginia is murky, to say the least. They have no timetable for the completion of their portion, and it's currently not in their budget. Now, if that doesn't tell you much, I'll say that as a general rule of thumb, if funds haven't been allocated for a project, it's probably not in the best place for getting done soon. Sure, if North Carolina continues their project and it's fully signed within the state, it may put more pressure on Virginia, but as is, this highway is staying at 12.9 miles for a while. Moving to our final example, we have Interstate 41 in Wisconsin, an 175-mile route from northwest Green Bay down to the Illinois border. Now, I-41 is our only highway today that's actually fully completed, instead of being the start of a much longer corridor. US 41 was signed along this stretch for a long time, being a semi-limited access highway connecting the Fox cities to Milwaukee and Chicago. But there were many proposals to upgrade it all to interstate standards and sign it as such. One proposal was to extend I-55 all the way up to Green Bay, but Illinois was annoying and disagreeable on their part of the proposal, so Wisconsin was forced to make a new proposal, this time creating their own interstate, which became I-41. This involved a long series of upgrades to get rid of at-grade intersections along the route, but it was all completed and the official Interstate 41 was signed on April 7, 2015. The way I see it, this is probably where I-41 will stay forever. It could absolutely be extended north into the UP, which could help summer traffic to cottages. But the region is declining economically, so traffic isn't likely to increase, and money isn't going to be invested into this region. So that's the end of the projects I wanted to talk about today, but that doesn't mean this doesn't keep going. If we move past I-41, we get into the early 2000s and the 90s, which saw 6 new interstate designations, some of which have become household names that you may not have known were signed so recently. If this video does pretty good, I'd love to cover some more examples, since I think it's a very interesting topic. Thanks for watching. Thank you to the members this week: Steve Priestman, SB Wilder, Florida Jake, Sir JC17, Alex Williams, Makita Martinoff, Kurt Ainsley, Jerome McCall, KMS162, JL, Bryson, Rosebud4, Darkbird, Big Pasty, Wolfling73, Snyderschwein, Benjamin Whitings, Ryan Devins, and Hazev the Wolf. I appreciate you all so much. If you want to become a member, the link is down in the description below. All this money just goes straight into my savings. I'm in college now, so any money that you give to me is just helping me out as a person if you appreciate the content. I promise it's going to a good cause, and I thank you so much if you help out. Thank you.